J.K. Rowling says she knew her views on transgender issues would make many folks deeply unhappy. The Harry Potter author, who says she'd been scared for her family's safety, believes time will tell whether I've got this wrong. Well, yeah, of course, but I could tell you right now, you've got it wrong. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling has said she knew that when she spoke out about her views on transgender issues, many folks would be deeply unhappy with me. Speaking to host Megan Phelps-Roper on the podcast The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling, she said that despite assertions that she has betrayed the messages in the Harry Potter novels, she believes she is absolutely upholding the positions that I took in Potter. The author, who rarely does interviews, spoke to Phelps-Roper about her 2019 tweet in support of Maya Forstater, who lost her job after tweeting that transgender women could not change their biological sex. Forstater later won her claim that she was unfairly discriminated against because of her gender-critical beliefs. Rowling said on the podcast, "When I first became interested in and then deeply troubled by what I saw as a cultural movement that was illiberal in its methods and questionable in its ideas, I absolutely knew that if I spoke out, many people who love my books would be deeply unhappy with me." I knew that because I could see that they believed that they were living the values I had espoused in those books. I could tell that they believed that they were fighting for underdogs and difference and fairness. I thought it would be easier not to. But despite knowing, quote, this could be really bad, and saying she had been scared at times for my safety and overwhelmingly for my family's safety, Rowling said she still wanted to speak, and that time will tell whether I've got this wrong. Rowling said she'd thought about it deeply and hard and long, and I've listened, I promise, to the other side, and I believe absolutely that there is something dangerous about that movement and that it must be challenged. The author has been criticized by Harry Potter fans. In 2022, competitive Quidditch, named for and modeled on the sport in the novels, changed its name to Quadball, with one of its governing bodies citing Rowling's anti-transpositions as a reason for the change. But on the podcast, Rowling said a ton of Harry Potter fans were grateful I'd said what I said, and said that people who claim that she was a villain, like those in her famous series, have not understood the books. She said the Death Eaters, a brigade of dark witches and wizards who Harry Potter fought against, demonized and dehumanized those who were not like them. I am fighting what I see as a powerful, insidious, misogynistic movement that has gained huge purpose in very influential areas of society, said Rowling. I do not see this particular movement as either benign or powerless, so I'm afraid I stand with the women who are fighting to be heard against threats of loss of livelihood and threats to their safety. A fan of the books interviewed on the podcast said they hoped Rowling can try to see why so many trans people are angry and hurt by this, and understand why people who are being constantly rejected and humiliated by our families and governments, who are losing our access to healthcare or being threatened with it, who are fighting for our basic ability to participate in society, why we might feel hurt and betrayed by her contributing to fear about us. And that's the article. She says she knew that people would be unhappy with her views and put them out anyway. I guess kudos to you for being brave, but you have to understand that when you're viewing trans people as the group that has power, I think you have a woeful misunderstanding of the actual powers that are in action here, right? We see every day some new state or some new country, some new legislation is coming out to prohibit access to the life-saving hormones that trans people need. And regardless of your opinion on ROGD or whether this is a social contagion or whatever, you have to understand that legislating this is harmful to all trans people, and that eventually they will come for you. There are no good ones in this, okay? There are no, I am one of the good ones, these people will suddenly respect. They don't respect you, just like we read from the previous articles, that Other lady, Elisa Ray Shoop, she got chewed up and spit out by the same people who said that, we're fighting for you. We're in this together. We believe you. You're a detransitioner and stuff like that. They used her and tossed her aside. And that's exactly what these people are going to do. That's why it's so important for us to stand together. I don't know about J.K. Rowling. I haven't listened to this podcast. I've heard things about it. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like I said, I haven't listened to it, but I can't imagine I'm going to be any more accepting of her views.